Today, we need to talk about a question worth almost $3 trillion. It's all about something called digital transformation. See, companies are pouring unbelievable amounts of money into it, but it turns out the biggest roadblock isn't the technology at all. It's the people. So let's get into it. Okay, first, let's just try to wrap our heads around the scale here. By 2025, it's projected that companies all over the world will be spending $2.8 trillion a year on this stuff. A single year. To give you some perspective, that's more than the entire economy of a country like Canada or Italy.
So you gotta ask, right? When the biggest companies in the world are placing a bet that massive, what exactly are they hoping to get out of it? And maybe more importantly, is that bet actually paying off? Now, before we go any further, let's be really clear on what we're talking about. Digital transformation, or DX for short, this is not just about buying some new software or getting the latest laptops. No, it's about using technology to completely rewire how a business runs from the inside out. It's a total overhaul. All right, so let's dig into why everyone, and I mean everyone, is going all in on this massive digital bet. What's behind this huge investment? And check out how fast this is happening. It's not just a big number. It's a number that's jumping by $1 trillion in just 3 years. This isn't some slow-moving trend. It's a tidal wave sweeping through every industry. So, what's really fueling this fire? What's the core motivation that's making this the #1 priority in pretty much every boardroom on the planet?
Well, this kind of says it all. A wild 97% of IT leaders are working on digital transformation projects right now. It's not a question of if a company's doing it anymore, but how they're doing it. It's just become the price of admission for doing business today.
And if you ask executives what they're after, it boils down to these 3 things. 40% are chasing efficiency, trying to do more with less. 36% want to get their products out the door faster. And 35% are all about creating a better experience for their customers. I mean, these are the absolute pillars of a modern business. Okay, but here's where the story takes a really sharp, unexpected turn. Because with all this money being spent and with such clear goals, there's this huge, surprising hurdle that most companies just completely trip over. 70%. Just look at that number for a second. Let it sink in. 70% of what? And there it is. The punchline, straight from a McKinsey report. A full 70% of these incredibly expensive company-wide projects fail. And the #1 reason? It's not the tech, it's not the budget, it's not the strategy. It's the people.
The whole thing breaks down because of human factors. You've got resistance to new ways of working, often because people are afraid of being left behind. You've got huge gaps in digital skills. You have really low employee engagement. And you have teams that are competing with each other instead of working together. So the tech might be ready to go, but the organization just isn't. This really forces us to completely rethink what the digital workplace is all about. If we want that $2.8 trillion bet to actually pay off, the focus has to shift from the shiny new tools to the teams that are supposed to be using them. And here's the fundamental disconnect, laid out plain and simple. Most companies pour their energy into the technology and the infrastructure, but all the data shows that what actually makes these things work is managing the change, getting employees on board, and actually developing their skills for this new world. And the proof is right here in the numbers. When you actually implement tech in a way that supports your employees, they are 230% more engaged. Think about that. And they're 85% more likely to stick around. That's a direct hit to your bottom line, in a good way. But here's the tough reality we're all facing. According to Gallup, only about 21% of employees are actually engaged at work. That means almost 4 out of every 5 employees are either just phoning it in or worse, are actively disengaged. You just can't transform a business with a workforce that feels that disconnected. So it all circles back to this one thing. That huge global $2.8 trillion bet, all that hope for a brighter, more efficient future, it all comes down to solving this very human problem of engagement. So, how do we finally get this right? Let's look ahead for a minute, because the next wave of transformation is already on its way. And honestly, the stakes are only getting higher. And the workplace is changing fast. By 2025, millennials, who really value culture and flexibility, are going to be 75% of the workforce. By 2028, almost 3/4 of all teams will have people working remotely, making digital collaboration an absolute must-have. This stuff isn't some distant future. It's happening right now. As Accenture puts it so well, companies have to bring people and technology together with more emphasis on the human side. See, the future isn't about choosing one or the other. It's about weaving them together, but always, always leading with the people. So, we'll leave you with this final thought. Technology is moving at a dizzying speed. We all know that. The real question we have to ask ourselves is our focus on our people, on their skills, their engagement, their ability to adapt, is that keeping pace? Because that, right there, is the $2.8 trillion question.